What's up, guys? I forgot how do I intro it? Individual riders and speed separation, it is gone. It is gone. The world has definitely caught up to us, and especially coming here. What's up, guys? You know who it is, your boy James Stewart, and you know where we at, baby. We at the Rewind. Special edition Rewind. We brought the whole world together for what? The Motocross the Nations on home soil up in Redbud. We had the best of the best. We're almost the best of the best. We didn't have the defending champion of the MXGP, but we had everybody else, and it was a showtime. The U.S. versus the rest of the world versus U.S. on home soil. So let's check it out. Motocross the Nations from Redbud. Let's get into it. Being that it's on home soil, you know, the expectations for the U.S. was high. You know, we come back to here. We just raced here a few months ago at Redbud. It's one of my favorite tracks, and I'm sure it's the guys that raced over here this weekend's one of the favorite tracks. But coming here, there was a lot of pressure on the U.S., and there was a lot of uncertainty about the team guys that was being picked. We had the Justin Cooper or bringing a 450 guy down here. Justin was struggling in the beginning part of the year. And like I said, I don't even know why we're talking about it, but we're talking about it. I felt like he was the best pick, and ultimately he was. But I just think everybody knew how much pressure was going to be since we are on home soil. It's been years since we won it, and the world has caught up to us. Like it or not, the world has stepped up to where the speed separation isn't that different. So there was a lot of uncertainty about who we should pick and making sure we got that right, so we had the best opportunity to get. So we got that figured out. We got the team figured out. So we had Justin Cooper, and then we had Eli Tomac and Chase Sexton. I clearly been the best three Americans in both classes. Obviously Jet and Hunter and Shimoda, went 1, 2, and 3 in the lights class, but Justin was coming up to where he was winning races, and if he wasn't hurt at the beginning part of the year, I think the season might have ended up different. So I think U.S., we had our best crop of American riders coming in here, and not to say that was a negative to anybody else, but ultimately I think we had good. So going into the race, they show up on Saturday. Track looks awesome. Those guys, they did an amazing job. I mean, I actually thought it might have been the best I've ever seen Redbud. They get excited. They bring the whole world here. Everybody wants to show out. Like when you got your mama's family, your girl's family coming over here, you put out the nice, dining set. So, the Richies, I think that's their name, right? Damn, I nailed that. How did I know that? They stepped up. They put a lot of work into it, and the place looked phenomenal. And on Saturday, it was one time I was watching the race this year. I was like, dang it, I wanted to ride. Saturday looked great. And it was for me watching it, there was a lot of surprising, not surprising things. And what I mean by that is I was surprised how deep the world is, meaning like Jeremy Stewart, was good. Renee was good. And honestly, I feel like the MXGP, the world guys, didn't even have their quote unquote top level guys, where Geyser wasn't there, Hurlings wasn't there, Fever wasn't there. So I wouldn't say it was a B team, but they definitely didn't have the last two champions in the MXGP, and then with Fever being out. But when you look at the whole field, it was deep because there was a lot of guys from a lot of different countries being able to run up. Maybe not the pace of Eli when we went beast mode, but there was a pace where if we got bad starts, they would finish where they finished. The guys can win. So it was really cool to see, Yago Gertz come in and then win, I think it was the Saturday qualifier, and then actually keep Tomac honest on the race on the first moto, and having Renault come in and win the third moto. I just thought it's the first time in a while that you had a full blown world flair. You had guys from Spain, France, Australia, US, where before it was you had the Belgians, and then it was the French, and then it was the Italians. Now it's you got the world. There's a crop of riders, top level riders across the whole world. I still think one of our advantages at the US in the US is that we have, a deeper team, meaning our MX1 is a champion. MX3 is either the second place or he's close to being a champion. And an MX2 class is usually a guy that's winning races or possibly a champion outside of this year. So I think our team is better and it's deeper. But when you start looking at the whole field and riders, individual riders and speed separation, it is gone. It is gone. The world has definitely caught up to us. And especially coming here, being on home soil, the advantage went to the U.S. Why? Because we're used to this and we're on home soil. And you would say we normally have the fastest riders and stuff, the top of the world. So coming here, you feel like we have the advantage. Well, looking at the race, when it was dry and then it was wet, we had the better team on there. And Chase, Eli, and Justin, I think Justin rode better out of everybody. Out of the Team US, Eli rode great too. But we had the better team. But it was nice to be able to watch each individual riders in the world catch up. And not only just one, you had different guys across the world and different ones to cool. So for me watching, it was exciting to see that. And it just makes it even, I think, even more special that we was able to win it. And then moving forward, I think it's going to bring back the spark into this because now you really, the U.S., we're clear favorites as the whole team, but the world is catching up and it's only going to get better. So, and a shout out to Yamaha. At one point, they had 1 through 5. 2 years ago, you would have never guessed that. And I think that's not only Star Racing, but just Yamaha in general. Like, they're over in Europe, like, Max and Renault, and then, Jago Geertz and Stewart, Koldenhoff. These guys are out here, Eli, Ferrandis. Yamaha was 1 through 5 at one point. So 2 years ago, that wasn't the case. And it just shows how much, where they were a few years ago and how much to continue to work and improve the motorcycle and belief in what people think has showed up. So not only it was a big day for the U.S. to be able to get back that trophy that we've been wanting, but I think it was a big day for Yamaha too, because it was just with Eli doing what he did this year, looking the best he's ever have. But on the world stage, when you can't just say, oh, it was just Eli or Ferrandis. We know those guys are good. But when you look at the whole world stage, Yamaha was doing great. And it was nice to be able to see that. So shout out to those guys for stepping up. And then, the rest was history. We stole that trophy. I wouldn't even say we stole it. We took it back. It was our trophy. But, at the end of the day, we could not leave this place without having that trophy. Like, we couldn't, exactly. That's what would have happened if we didn't win it. It would have been that. And I don't even know what that was. But we didn't have to go through that because we were able to get the trophy. Because we had the best team, we had the best riders, and we are the Motocross the Nations champion. And I'm not there, Cole. Don't even touch that button. I'm not even close to getting neck burns. We're not even that. Coming into the event, I said there was a little uncertainty about who we should pick for the MX2. We bring down Justin Barcia, Christian Craig, Jason Anderson. He was out. I don't think he was going to go back to 250 anyway, or like Justin Cooper. And this is not a knock to either one of those guys, Justin or Craig. They're worthy guys. But when we were talking about this a few months ago, I said, I don't even know why we're talking about this. We're home. We're in Europe. Maybe it's a different story, right? But we're here. And Yamahas, they're fast. They fast. Justin Cooper is a great starter. He's a great starter. What I was thinking of is, okay, when you think about the Motocross Nations, you have to put the MX2 guys, on the inside. In the starting position is a huge thing. So, of course, I know Eli, he can do beast mode. Chase can come up to the back. They got speed. So what do I want? I want somebody to get a start. And if it was a fitness issue, not a speed issue, I knew we had a moto to throw away. And if we needed to rely on Chase and Eli, we were going to lose anyway. So when I looked at it as a whole, I was just looking at, okay, out of two motos, do I think Justin Cooper can get up front, top 5 off the start, which would be pulling the whole shot against 450s to me? Do I think he can do that? Can he go fast enough for one moto to be able to win that class or be up there? Yeah, I think he could do that. And so back then, I was thinking all those different details that he is the guy. He is the guy. And but showing up this weekend, I think the last half of the outdoors, he proved himself. He was the guy. But showing up this weekend, I think he took a little pride to it because ultimately, out of all the guys that we had, or all three of the guys we had, he was the only one that won his class. So going from the weakest link to the strongest one in the sense of winning his class, and the way he looked, I thought he rode better than he has all year. You know, he looked the most aggressive, comfortable. He looked more like Justin Cooper than Chase looked like Chase. Eli looked great. I think he looked comfortable on his motorcycle. And as we talked about on the rewinds, is different tracks. He looks better on different tracks. So I think this track set up well for him. You know, it was deeper, a lot of traction. So I thought he looked good. But overall, like, Justin Cooper looked great to me. He looked really good. So I was pumped to see that, and he was a big part of why we won. And there was a lot of pressure coming on to him. And don't underestimate, like, that part, because it would have been easy for him to throw something away or have a bad motor, and people go, see, I told you, I told you. But that didn't happen. He went out and dominated on Saturday, and then came out and did what he had to do on Sunday. And you got to be stoked for the kid. So congratulations, Justin. I told you. Don't know why we were even talking about it, but we were. And there was no need to. I think we'll put that to bed. So not only was it the U.S. on home soil, the Motocross of Nations, you know, with COVID, and I think it was the first time in a while that it seemed like it was the Motocross of Nation again, like a big event, a lot of hype going into it. You have people at races that haven't been at races in years. Like, you know what I mean? Some of them bigger head guys and corporates, they show up. It's like basically the guys that just show up at Anaheim, Las Vegas, U.S. Open, and Motocross of Nation. Those guys. So it was a lot of hype because we were on home soil. We had a strong team. And so that was one part of the equation of what the stories coming into the Motocross Nation. But the other part was Jet Lawrence moving up to the 450. We all wanted to see what that was going to be about. You know, him just coming off a dominating outdoor performance championship, actually a year winning the lights class, and then moving to 450s for next year outdoors, going up against his teammate in the U.S. guys. And considering that, you know, he's been playing, you know how Jet is. He's thinking about the future. So, you know, he's been planning this since he was getting some Johnson & Johnson smacked on his booty, powder. So going into this, I was excited to see what he was going to look like. And kid looked great. All I'm going to say is this, and I ain't going to say too much about it, but I'm going to say enough about it. There's going to be little troubles in the Honda pit. That's all I'm going to say. I ain't going to name no names. I ain't going to name nothing else. But I just say, like, if I'm Honda, I feel good. Having Chase going into it, I did say I wasn't going to name no names, but I'm going to name them anyway. Having Chase, you know, stepping up, getting a close second in the outdoor title, you know, to the outdoors. Jet coming up and, you know, winning the last two outdoors. Hunter Lawrence's brother doing what he's doing. You had the German chocolate, Ken Roczen. So Honda, their future was there, you know, with Chase and, you know, the present with Ken, and then the Lawrence boys. And then not only doing that, dominating the world stage with Tim Geiser. There was a lot of stuff going on for Honda, which is a positive. But Jet Lawrence, 450. And all I'm going to say is that the biggest thing as a rider, you don't want to ever get beat by your teammate. Well, Jet Lawrence is Chase's teammate. And even though they were racing against each other, they're going to be teammates, they're friends. And but I know it would bother me, and it looked like it bothered Chase. That sucked. Now, I will say this with Chase. The Motocross, the nation's pressure is no joke. There is no joke on there. There's more pressure on that than just winning the title. Because if you lose the title, you know, like what happened a couple weeks ago with Chase, you lose it. Okay, your family, your team, y'all bummed. You lost it. When you lose it here, you lose it for the whole world, like the whole country. So you show up at these races, it is hard to be yourself. And Chase didn't look like himself. In fact, he looked worse this race than he did at Paula. And even though he looked worse, he was still able to show up and get what he needed to get done. And that's commendable. That's respect. And I get a lot of respect for that, because the Motocross Nation is no joke, the pressure. And so But, you know, you can kind of forget all that. Like when Evers went past me and I was like, dude, all right. I'm just going to USA. And then the next year I was like, I don't care. I ain't letting that happen again. Well, you know, Chase was in an awkward situation because when Jet, you know, passed him and Jet took off, it didn't sit well with him. It can't. It didn't sit well with me. And I'm not even racing. I don't have nothing. But I just know, like, as a teammate, you're like, dude, I can't let this happen. And what was happening was that this kid comes in there, and, you know, Jet, like, he feels himself. He feels like he is the next guy on there. Shoot, I think he's even said it. So Chase, with Ken going on, it's his team, right? Like, he's the guy. Well, I don't know how it's going to look, but if it's looking the way I see it looking and how I would feel, that didn't last that long. It really didn't. Like, it feels like what Jet did by winning, it's like, as a rider, you're like, he is the guy. He just beat me on there. How he beat me and why he beat me, I don't even care. He beat me. And not that he did it once, he did it twice. And he looked good, like, doing it. The kid actually looked good. He looked like he just got on a bigger bike, but he was riding a 250. The way he raced was just like he was racing in a 250 class. And I think technique-wise, he was still able to do the things that he was able to do, hopping around, just doing this stuff that made him look like strong on there. And when I'm watching it, I'm like if I'm looking at both the guys, I'm looking like, well, that guy looks like he's been here a long time. The guy looks a lot calmer, and it's happening a lot easier. Whenever he decides to go fast, he's going to go fast and go past them than the other guy. And I just think that's a testament to Jet, because there's a lot of pressure on him. Oh, believe me, it's, Chase maybe have a little bit more because we're on home soil, but there was a lot of pressure on Jet with Australia. He's the leading guy on there. Australia had a chance to actually win this thing. And if Hunter didn't, have a couple falls, it might have been a different outcome because, Jet did what he needed to do. And then Hunter was second in the MX2 class until he fell and all that. So it was there. So I think just overall, back on the Chase situation, I know that had to get to him. Now, this could be nothing. He can go out and win Anaheim 1, and then when he goes to 450s next year, when Jet moves up, he can blow his ass off the door. He can do that. But I know until that happens again, it just doesn't sit well on there. But you got to give credit to where credit is due. Chase did what he had to do and bring home the Motocross of Nations. And he was kind of in a position like I was in 2006 where you're like, look, I know this is eating at me. It's eating at this dude still passed me on the outside. I'll never live that down. But I did what I had to do. I sacrificed myself for our country, and that's what we needed to do because this is a team event. But surely enough, my mentality was thinking different the next year. And I know if Chase gets in that situation and he wanted to be, it wasn't sitting well. You can look at how he was riding the second half of that once Jet got past him. He was not letting that boy get past him. He wasn't taking him off on him this time. So, but maybe that's why I came back in 2008 and crashed my ass off too. So who knows? So maybe the thinking might have been wrong, but hey, I slept better at night afterwards. But it was good to watch Jet come in here and then win. He won that first moto, and then I felt like out of all the guys he looked in that class, him and Max and Renault looked the best in the MX3 category. So I know it's a lot of confidence for Jet, but if I'm Honda, I'm like, it's a great day. It's a great day for blue. It's a great day for, the red, and my future is right there. My future just showed it, and I'm excited to see what happens and transpires to that. But often at the end of the day, we won and y'all didn't. That's it. So being at this event, it is a team event, and like I said, I felt like most years, Team USA had we had the best overall team, meaning there was really no separation. Our MX2 guy, when a lot of these countries, it's like a guy that drops back from the 450 or a rookie, and you're really worried about like that guy. Where I felt like with US, like we usually have pretty good guys, top 3 most of the time in the MX2 over here, which is the lights division. And then you had the top 2 in the 450. And if not, you had 3rd and 4th, which is still like good enough. So our team was pretty like set. But when you start getting into the other countries, like they'll have 2 good ones and then one guy that's maybe new or in a different situation. It's rare to have, 3 good guys kind of like where we are in the U.S. So I think most of the time, although a lot of luck plays into it, where you can get first corner crashes, guys get hurt, other things that happen. Usually if it's like nobody falls in the best of the best, each one of your team members performs at what we think they should, usually the team US most years will win because like we had the better team overall. But this year, France had a pretty good team. And then Australia had, both Lawrence's and then Mitch Evans, and which he was starting to come on at the end of the outdoor year. So it was like a factory Honda team over there, factory Honda Australian team with all 3 of those guys on there. So I think Australia really had a good chance on winning. I think out of all of them, they probably had the best chance to knock off the U.S., even over France and some of the other ones. But Mitch Evans, he did have his fall on there, and that obviously cost him some points, at least cost him to possibly get second. But I think where it really came down to was what Hunter did. I think Hunter falling is where the U.S., where Australia lost the chance, because Jet did what he needed to do. And even though he didn't win his overall, he won the first moto, and then he finished second one. So that's 3 points with him. I think where it really came down to was what Hunter did. Because if you look at points wise, with Justin Cooper, I think going 4, then 9. If Hunter would have, finished, 6-6 or, 3-6, then those points would have been pretty close to the U.S. Mitch Evans had one good moto with a 5th. He would have been able to throw away that 28. So you start looking at those points, I would go back and be like, okay, it was Hunter having some crashes that threw away, that gave our chance, took away our chance to win the Motocross of Nations. So, but it is the Motocross of Nations. And like I said, there's a lot of pressure on there. And by no means, it's not like Hunter was doing something crazy. It was the 250F guys. They have a hard time, on certain places, it's harder on them than others. And I feel like when it started raining there, it was going to be harder on Hunter than it even was for Justin Cooper. Justin Cooper looks like he's a really good starter. Not to say Hunter isn't, but I think Justin feels like he can pull a whole shot. Justin has that beginning part of the moto speed. And at mud races, what do you need? You need a good start, and you need to be solid the first few laps. So if I'm looking at those two, I'm picking Cooper because he's a good starter and he's pretty quick in the beginning. Hunter might be stronger at the end sometimes. Hunter might pull a whole shot, but overall, it's usually Cooper out front, and then those guys maybe catch him or they don't catch him. So in a team event for one race, if I need it happen, I'm picking Justin Cooper for that. And it's particularly when it started raining, track got really one-lined it, you're definitely. So I think when you look at the whole picture, I think we had the best guy in the MX2 for the perfect scenario in that MX2, which ultimately ends up getting us that trophy. And I think it's important to say this. It's been a long time, people. It's been a very long time. Been a long time. I was racing since last time we won. And that was long time. It's been a long time since I raced. And it was even a few years before that. Since we won. So it's been a long time. And we missed that trophy. It's been like France, Belgium. Netherlands won. Shoot. They won on there. So it's been a long time. Last time we won, it was in France. We were in France. Back Villapoto, Dungey, and who was it? Blake Baggett. Oh, Chuba Cropper. What up, Blake? So it's been a while. And like I said, I was still racing back there. So, coming back, it's been a few years since we've been here on home soil. We're going to Red Button. I think we were supposed to go somewhere a few years ago back on home soil, but, something else happened in the world. More important things happened, and we couldn't do it. But we wanted it this year. And there was a lot of pressure. Like I said, we were trying to build a team together, who we should bring. Like, should we bring Ricky Carmichael back out of retirement? Damon Bradshaw? Who knows? Mike Brown's still racing. Maybe I said it. Hell, Chiz might even do it, which would have been wrong on my part. Chiz, hey, I don't know. The way he was kind of around that Yamaha about getting him some heat race, he might have been able to do it. But the world has caught up. So we need to bring the best. And we had the best of what we had, which was the best. So it's been a long time, people. Been a long time, and it's the first time we ever gonna say it on this show about this event. And it's special because we on home soil. So we had to do it. And it's a special one. I don't even know how to get this one out because they all winners. They all win it. It is the third degree. Hit them for it, Cole.
Suntan, necks on fire.
They all get the neck burn. USA. We had no choice but to win. And maybe the world didn't have the best of the best, but them riders pretty damn good to me, the way they look. And I think when I went over there and I was like, damn, they pretty fast. I don't even know who this guy is. Like, he's from Mexico. What? Who is this guy? I remember watching Tony Caroli on Yamaha the first year, and he was in lights class in England. And I told my dad, I was like, I don't know who that guy is because I don't even think he got a number on his bike. But that dude's fast. And sure enough, 10-time world champion Tony Caroli. This is back in 2006. Didn't even know who the hell he was. But that dude was going fast, and this is on Saturday practice. So now it's hard to even know where you're getting hit. It's a war all across the world now. It's not just France. It's not just the US. It's not just Belgium. The Netherlands, the Australians, everybody came to play, but we were able to do it. And so the USA, you got to celebrate. And it's better. It's better for the world that the USA, we're all in it. On there. And it ain't nothing to say the world has caught up, people. The world has caught up. Them boys are good. They good. You can't just send the mediocre guys gonna get their ass kicked. And you might even send the best and still get your ass kicked. But that's just a testament to how much everybody's improved across the country, how good these motorcycles are, but frankly, how good the rest of the world is, how good the MXGP class is, and the world champions, Tim Geiser, Jeffrey Hurlins, Caroli, all those guys, they're good. And there's no second tier anymore. So to win this race on there, it should be special to USA because we don't just show up and we're the best. We had to work for it, and the world made us work for it. And so luck does play into it, but I'm excited to watch it next year. Wherever we go, we just know we're going to have a fight. And so the world showed up. MXGP guys, y'all killed it. From here is Bubba's World. Damn, y'all fast. But it was us, USA, all day long. So hit it for him one more time, Cole.
Suntan, necks on fire.
Next on fire, Chase Sexton, Justin Cooper, Eli Tomac. Congratulations. You better bring that trophy home. You better bring that home. You got to have Roger Coster quitting this year. If y'all ain't going to win this, he's like, man, it's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. It is awkward. It is awkward. Like, I always felt like, damn, Belgium's winning. Like, he's a Belgian, but Roger bleeds the U.S. He bleeds racing. He bleeds good racing. So we put a lot of effort into it this year, and we were able to do it. So congratulations, all three of y'all. Justin Cooper, thank you for validating my pick. You rode great. Eli Tomac, you had a stupid year. Stupid year. I think he might have been the first to win everything you want. Shit, he's still winning. And I'm sorry, people, but he's still winning. Just like Alex Martin, he ain't up in Seattle. He's retired now, but Eli's still winning. And he just won the Motocross of Nations. Chase Sexton, good job. You better smack that teammate. Don't let him beat up on you like that. And again, Jet Lawrence doing what you do. Renell, Garrett's, all y'all. Ferrandis, it was cool to see you back. You looked a lot of control on Saturday, but you wanted it. Showed up on Sunday. That boy was fast. He hit the deck a few times, but it was good to see the champ back. But at the end of the day, it was USA. Australia, great job. France, great job. USA with the ultimate neck burn. All right, people, that was it. From the Motocross Nations, where we were victorious, finally got that trophy back. Congratulations, Eli, Chase, and Justin. Jet Lawrence looked good. France looked good. But we were best. We were able to do it. And we got it back. So that was it, people. I'll see y'all when we see you. Hopefully it'll be very soon, which it probably will because we always got exciting things on there. But that was from the Rewind show from the Motocross Nations for USA was the king of the day. We got it done. Congratulations. Until then, yeah.